This session is all about to teach a dog a stable long lay down exercise. Have you ever seen a dog who is a little bit noisy in the long lay down, maybe a little bit moving or doing everything but laying down and being quiet? What is the reason for a dog being restless in the long lay down exercise? In my world, it is just a super boring exercise and they have nothing to do. So they are basically laying here, they are watching the other dog is running, he's fetching the dumbbell, and of course this makes them exciting. And because they are so excited, they may start to move around or they start to sing some songs and some other dogs start to bark. Wow, wow, wow. My dogs are supposed to, what I do in order to make my dogs calm and focused, I give them an exercise. And the exercise is, you are laying down and you are supposed to be focused on the blind. And of course, I'm the one who is hiding myself in the blind. So they are supposed to lay like a sphinx and only focus on the blind. So the second the dog has an exercise, a task to do, he will forget about the other dog and he won't get so overexcited. And this means he will lay there like a sphinx, nailed. So, what you need for this exercise is a dog. Welcome back. So, you go in the box. First step is we teach our dogs with a kibble of food to go into the box. And we reward him. One of the basic exercises, of course, is that the dog understands he is not allowed to leave this position box without a permission. So what I do now, first exercise, he knows that he needs to stay there. My pockets are filled with his breakfast or with his dinner. I am prepared with a leash, with a clicker and food. I will start the whole exercise in an environment with almost no distraction. So what I do now, I ask him to stay. I just leave him slowly, and the second he looks at me, I mark this, I go back and I feed him. The click marks the wanted behavior and tells him, hey, you did a great job, but he is not allowed to leave the position. He can go up in the sit or in the stand exercise, but he's not allowed to leave the position box. He's allowed to get up. I don't care. So one more time, he's downing, I leave him, he may looks away, I just wait, and the second he looks at me, I say good boy and I give him food. In the very beginning, this is pure positive training, means I'm waiting for the spontaneous behavior by focusing on me, and this is what I'm going to reinforce. You do this for at least 10 or 15 training sessions, purely positive. And of course, we know the downside of positive training, because positive training has the downside we cannot control this. This is why after 10 or 15 training sessions, we start to apply a slightly leash pressure. So I will start the exercise by down, I leave him, he looks at me, I reward. Now it may appear that he looks away. Without speaking, I add a leash pressure, he looks at me, I say good boy, and I go and reward him. Just make sure that the dose is right. If you pull too hard, he won't understand this, and this whole exercise will end up in stress. It is supposed to be a constant stimulation until he focuses on you again. Means he looks away, I pull, here it stops, I ask him, hey, you're a good boy, and I reward him. If this works on a short distance with low distraction, I just would go and do the exercise in different places and I would just add the distraction step by step. In the beginning, the distraction is definitely probably enough once another person is walking around and he will look away without speaking. It stops, good boy, look away. So what's now better for you, looking away or paying attention? Of course, paying attention, and this is why he probably will stop looking away. Once this is working, by having or keeping the focus on you, this is the second when you hide yourself in the blind and you do exactly the same. You are leaving him. It would be a quite good thing if you would have a little hole in your blind to see it. If you don't have a hole, either you ask a friend to support you or you just cut a hole in here. So the system is the same. He looks away, I pull, he looks, I say, good boy. He looks away, good boy. I mark it, I go to him and I reward him. And now step by step you increase the distraction. In the next step maybe a person runs next to him, or you throw a ball, or two dogs are playing on the field. Just make sure that you do this step by step and that you don't overdo this. And now people can say, yeah, Tobias, this is all good and fine, but at the end, in the trial, the dog is not laying in the box, and the risk that the dog mixes up his event marker and leaves the position is so high, this is why I don't do this. Can you repeat, please? The whole sentences? So now it appears that people say, yeah, this is all good and fine, but later there is no box, and later I don't want to run in the trap that the dog accidentally misunderstands the clicker, because someone in the audience claps the hand or whatever, and the dog jumps and leaves the position. So first of all, of course, you have to get rid of the box. So what you want to do is, instead of placing him in the box, you just ask him to down and you do the same exercise. So, and now I also train that the audience distract my dog. Means I'm in the blind. The release command now will probably change from the event marker clicker to my marker word, which is my voice, and my voice is very unique. What I will do now, I hand my clicker to someone in the audience. I go in the blind. He's supposed to pay attention. And now the audience clicker clicks. He will stop, he will jump out of the position. I will say, no, you're not allowed to do this, down. Because he's only allowed to react on my marker word. I don't care if people clap their hands, if they are singing songs, if they are playing with the clickers. He's not allowed to do that. And you all know what can happen on a trial. People freak out, they are singing, they are playing with balls. Yesterday it happens here that the guys which were playing soccer over there, that they kicked the ball over the fence. Yeah, you have to train it and be prepared for that. Last but not least, make sure that in the beginning the distance between the blind and the dog is quite short, because this provides you control. And once this is done and you really can try to distract your dog like a maniac and he is remaining in the correct position, this is the moment when you increase the distance between the dog and the blind, and then you just can hope for the best, but you are prepared for the worst. And I believe once your dog has such a big task to do now, he won't be so eager to watch and check out what the other dog is doing there, because he knows the consequence for not paying attention. Of course. But you only want to take the leash off once the learning process is completed. Means, if I teach my child the swimming, for instance, I start this with the swim ring and floaters. Who of you would give your little child 2, 3, 4 of these tries, and then you say, yeah, but later you have to do this without, so you take off the swim ring, you take off the floaters, and you say, try it. Me. I'll do it. Sweetheart, we have to do a new one because this one is dead. So the answer to that question, when am I supposed to take off the leash, is very simple. You start with a low distraction. You increase the distraction. You increase the distraction to a maximum that the dog is laying here and someone else plays with a football. And the dog says, no, I'm not interested in looking anymore because I know my job. At a certain point, you try to distract him as much as you can, but you have no success anymore. So you don't need the leash actually, because he's doing his job. And this is the moment when you get rid of the leash. But the truth is, the majority of dogs barely can do this exercise with a little distraction, and we just don't care. We take off the leash, provide more distraction, and then we are crying, it's not working.